Very much for having us here. So let me tell a little bit about what we do. Actually, this is a kind of a first today for us. Basically, we come out of hiding, you could almost say. It's the first conference where we actually present our model. The company is actually not quite new, it's about 4 years old, but I'll tell you a little bit more about us, of course, using a few charts. So, what are we all about? We believe that we are a new category combining traditional social networks with traditional marital dating into social dating. Basically, the history of the company was that the founder started off just having, let's say, another social network. And he recognized early enough, maybe earlier than some others, that social networking would be something that would be dominated by Facebook. So he recognized early enough that he would have to do something and change the model. And of the many things that he tried, the one that happened to work is the combination with dating. So, what is the promise that we hold for our users? What we offer is different from classical dating. How is it different? It's about meeting people. It's not about getting married, it's about meeting people. And lots of them, on average, 8 new people per month for everyone. And that, of course, includes a lot of people that only meet, that very few people and quite a few people that have got a very high frequency of encountering new people. So lots of people like you, so it's really mainstream. It's not upmarket or low market, it's really mainstream, it's for everybody. Near you, it's very location-based. So we moved from attitude-driven dating to location-based social dating. So the location-based dimension is key. Safely in 2 dimensions. Actually, safely means for the guys, they can approach somebody without feeling embarrassed about being blown off. That's the key safety aspect for guys. The key safety aspect for girls is, of course, that you just feel safe about how much privacy, who you let into your more intimate private life. And fast. It's about people, it's about meeting people not a few weeks from now, but tonight. If you go onto the site, you'd see that a lot of the people looking for other people, are looking for other people that they want to meet the same day and not sometime in the future. Right. And of course, it's for free. It's a new business model, a classic freemium business model. So, where do we stand today with our model? This is a few figures about where we stand today. So we have about 88 million registrations, 24 million monthly actives, 5 million data actives, about 5 billion page views. And what is probably most important, the site has quite a good stickiness. So the average session time is about 20 minutes. We're in 24 languages. And those are our main markets. Sorry, that was too fast. So the main markets are France, Spain, Italy, and Brazil. And those are the main markets for no good reason at all, you could say. This is just how it grew virally. What's very important that so far the site grew 95% virally. So there's been no marketing at all so far. So it's really product driven. The product seems to be so attractive that in itself has led to 88 million registrations. The growth. We currently add about 250,000 new members a day via the web, about 100,000 via Facebook. Facebook has only been launched recently. I think we've been nominated the fastest growing Facebook app, I think 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks before. And we're now moving, obviously, across platforms. We've launched the an iPhone app about 2 months ago, and there we're adding about 10K installs a day. And of course, there's a rollout plan by the end of January. Will be across all platforms, and we expect a major shift, of course, from the web to mobile, since we're already very location-based, and mobile, of course, offers even wider opportunities there. Our run rate is at around $100 million per year currently, and we add about 10% per month. Now, what do we think it is that drives this model? It's a free-to-use, choose-to-pay model. That's nothing sensational in itself. But what we seem to have figured out quite well is a kind of a mousetrap. We seem to have figured out quite well what makes people switch over from being a free user into being a user that voluntarily pays and pays over a longer period of time. So the dimensions that we offer, if people want to pay, is essentially always boil down to the same. It's always about being more visible. And of course, who wants to be more visible? The guys want to be more visible. So it's like in real life, we have about 45% female users, but about 90% male payers. So the guys pay for the girls, right? So they want to be more visible to the girls, and that desire to be more visible is such a strong one that works extremely well and grows extremely fast. So what you see here is a few examples of how essentially guys can make themselves more visible. Now, why do we believe it's really something new? Why do we think it's different from the kind of traditional dating that we've seen so far? First of all, yes, I was mentioning that we have a move from marital dating. Of course, that's our perspective, from marital dating to social dating. Marital dating will always be around. It will always be very profitable. But now there's another category. If you want to put it in a more provocative way, it means moving from loser dating to winner dating, meaning, you know, it's not anymore just for the leftovers, it's for everyone. It's mainstream. It's what everybody does. It's for the winners, right? And one of the interesting data that suggests that something fundamental is shifting is that if we do user surveys, we find that 50% of the girls want to meet other girls. Of course, not because that's their sexual orientation, or not for all of them. It's because it's about meeting other people. It's about meeting other people beyond just wanting to get married. It's from interest-driven, it shifts from interest-driven to location-driven. That we feel is probably the most important one. While in traditional dating, you will fill out a questionnaire and you would be scientifically matched in various ways. And you would have fewer hits, but it would be more likely that you actually meet somebody that suits your personality. In our case, it's about trial and error. People wanting to try a huge volume, wanting to meet a huge number of people, and then make the choice at a later stage, rather than scientifically through a questionnaire in an earlier stage. That also means it's a dramatic shift, whether we all like it or not, from inner beauty to outer beauty. It's very fast, it's visually driven. So therefore, the kind of key alleyway into our business model and the most important tool is something very simple. It's an element where people, guys or girls, choose whether they like an image or not. It's very visually driven. Of course, tied to from lasting impression to first impression, and from weeks to hours, it's very fast, and it's basically, we feel, a shift from gatherers to hunters. Okay, and the last one is, from our point of view, an interesting one. Of course, we ask ourselves the question too, what do we mean, are we different enough from somebody like Facebook? Or is that going to be the same one day? And our firm belief is it's never going to be the same. It's always going to be different. What we offer is safety. Safety from having to let somebody intrude into your whole private life at one go. If you befriend somebody in Facebook, that person immediately sees the picture of your, I don't know, divorce, marriage, holidays, everything, right? A lot, right? So what a lot of people want is a second skin. at least 1 second skin. So what we notice is that a lot of people have 2 or 3 second skins where they can keep those two worlds separate. Not necessarily because they want to cheat on somebody, but just because it's pragmatic and safe and rational. So we believe it's always going to be 2 separate things. What does it mean from our point of view for the industry? And that's my last chart. We move, just like everybody else, just like the whole industry, from the web to cross-platform. Mobile is very, very important. We move from classic web to apps, from Facebook apps to apps on mobile platforms. It moves from text to image. And very important, we believe that large chunks of the industry, just like we, will move from subscription-based to pay-as-you-go. So the impulse-driven, I want to meet that person now, or I want to be more visible tonight, is like going to a candy store and buying a Mars bar, and that seems to work very efficiently. From mandatory to voluntary payment, I talked about that already. So now, where do we want to go in future? What kind of growth dimensions do we see moving from today into the future? First of all, we believe that we still have a huge ARPU opportunity. ARPU, of course, in our case, is much lower than it would be for the traditional dating models like eHarmony, because we have a wider audience, but each individual pays less. The second thing is, as I mentioned before, all the growth so far, almost all of it, has been purely virally driven, product driven, no marketing at all. So we feel that if we can double our ARPUs, we feel we can do what everybody else does now, start doing classic performance marketing. Third growth dimension is white label. And of course, fourth one, we think we can add a lot more features. And very important one, as I mentioned before, our main markets are currently in Europe plus Latin America. So there's a lot of white spots still to be conquered, right? We firmly believe that if we now scale the model, we can roll it out to a lot more regions. So there's quite a bit of growth to come. And lastly, we believe there's a huge opportunity in mobile. So our basic message is that some things never change, right? Like the guys pay, but in how they pay, that changes dramatically, and we are convinced that we have a model here that has quite a few legs. Thank you very much.